It's a beautiful summer morning here in Utah County, and we are privileged to be sitting with Dr. Richard P. Nielsen. Now, he asked me to call him Rick, and I will do that out of respect and because of his invitation. We have the privilege of visiting here with Dr. Rick. See, it's going to take me a little bit to get past the doctor part of that, but I think that that's where we'll start. Of all of the accolades and of all of the opportunities that you've had to learn and to gain academic and institutional knowledge, what have been some of the best learnings? What have been your best schools of learning?
So I'll have to quote Mark Twain, who said that education is not only about what we learn, but what we unlearn about ourselves, right? So I've been in many different environments, but probably the best learning environment I've been in outside of the traditional academic classroom or laboratories is Mount Kilimanjaro. Kilimanjaro, that learning environment, I call it the classroom without walls. I've had an opportunity to summit that mountain 8 times. And the reason I did it 8 times was because I didn't learn the lessons that mountain could teach me on the first or the second or the 6th or the 7th time. That mountain teaches you more about who you are, about what's inside of you, than any other academic setting that I've ever been in.
Can you share with us that one additional lesson that the 8th summit brought to light for you?
Absolutely. That mountain it's almost 20,000 feet. There's a cave at 17,000 feet called Hans Meyer Cave. It's kind of a stopping off point for a lot of the climbers who attempt this mountain. The problem is it's a trap because it's so cold outside and everybody sees that the cave is waiting for them, right? And so when you go into the cave after having climbed now 17,000 feet over 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 days, you're tempted to sit down or lie down. And the minute you do that, you're done, because you will never be able to continue on to the summit of Kilimanjaro, which is called Uhuru Peak. Uhuru is Swahili for freedom. So the lesson that I learned, and unfortunately I didn't learn it personally because a lot of the people that I was with didn't listen to the lesson that I had learned, and that is, don't stop walking. If you're going to go in the cave, you just keep moving. You keep moving forward. Even though you're not physically going forward, you're still moving. You're still moving. You never stop. That's a lesson of life, right?
Yes.
Even though we get opportunities to be knocked down or to take an opportunity to rest from our labors, the most important thing is that we continue moving forward. Onward, as we say here.
That was the gem of the month right there. Thank you for sharing that. That was really insightful. The current project that you have your arms around, and I believe it's a family engagement. It's not just you, Rick. I think that you've brought in, and I mean not just your nucleus family, but your Rocky Mountain University family and your community to what is now called the World of Difference.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that and its mission.
Yeah, so World of Difference, when I left Operation Smile after 11 years, the main reason was because there are so many other resources that are providing health benefits to these kids. But nobody was doing anything for their education. Plus the cost of education over there, which really, if you were to be honest with you, is dollars in U.S. standards. But they can't afford that over there, so they can't send their kids to school. So we started Reach the Children. We started doing education programs over there, building schools. That kind of morphed ourselves into World of Difference that we've now been doing. We did Reach the Children for about 10 years. Now we've been doing World of Difference for, I guess we're probably about now we're in our 15th year. Our focus there is mostly on education, agricultural projects, resilient agricultural projects. We're also doing health and nutrition things. Like I mentioned, we take our Rocky Mountain University students with us to go over there and really impact on the healthcare delivery over there, which is very substandard compared to U.S. standards, but they're doing the best they can with what they have. And we really salute them for that, but they're very open to receiving opportunities to be able to enhance their ability to care for their own in that country.
Yeah. without getting too intimate, but would you share with us a miracle or two that you have seen in this work that you have been so gracious and so generous to do?
If you think about it, we are so blessed in this country, and sometimes we put ourselves before other people. One of the lessons my mother taught me was living outside of yourself. This was really played out to me, and I tried to live my life according to my mother's teaching as a young boy, to live outside of yourself. But the lesson was never taught stronger than the experience we had over there when we're building a school. And we have our whole team there, consisting of about 30 people from the USA. That particular day, there was a young man by the name of Jeremy. And Jeremy had been there for 2-3 days on our site. So I went up to him when he's mixing, and he's 10 years old. Yeah. He's mixing this cement. I mean, he puts everybody from the U.S. to shame. And he's mixing this cement, which is very, very hard work. Yeah. So I went over and knelt down by him, and I said, Jeremy, and I said, first of all, what's your name? And he said, I'm Jeremy. And it's like, who are you with here? And he said, I'm by myself. It's like, well, why are you here by yourself? You've been here for 2-3 days. He said, I'm an orphan. My parents died of HIV a few years ago. And I said, so where's your home? And he said, wherever I am. And I said, so why are you here? Why are you here? And he said, you needed help, didn't you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We need help.
Yeah.
And I said, when's the last time you've eaten, Jeremy? And he said, days. Mm-hmm. I had in my cargo pants a sandwich for the lunch that day. It happened to be a peanut butter and jam sandwich. And I knelt down and I pulled that out of my cargo pants, that sandwich, and I gave it to him. And the look on his face, he couldn't have experienced a miracle and had a more surprised and gratitude-filled face than that experience with that sandwich. And he just looked up at me and he said, asante sana, which is thank you very much in Swahili. And he then put that sandwich in his pocket and he walked down into the pit, the cement pit. And around that pit were probably about 10 kids that were just, playing. It was a circus to them, throwing rocks in the cement pit, right? And he walked over to those. He put his shovel in the cement, and then he walked over and he took that sandwich out, and he broke off a piece of that sandwich and gave that to every one of those kids. And he had none left. And he walked over, picked up his shovel, and started working again. That was a miracle for me, for every member of that team, because it was like, that was the epitome of selflessness that you could ever experience. Here's a boy who hasn't eaten for days, who's an orphan, doesn't know when the next meal is going to come from, or a piece of food, yet he shares it selflessly with others.
Thank you so much for sharing that. I wish we could bottle that. As I think about perhaps kind of our winding down question here, and it's almost blasphemous to ask it this way, because I think about a commercial that I grew up in the 80s. I'm a child of the 80s, and it was a military commercial that said, we get more done before 9 a.m. than most people get done their whole day. I think I've actually met someone for whom that is absolutely true. So this question is, what is left undone? What does Rick Nielsen still have to check off?
As I look forward into the next 10 years, where I was going with my mother's teaching is she taught me some great lessons about living outside of yourself, and that's service, selflessness. Because of my mother's teachings, my wife and I have a little mantra that we live by. We just say, you don't have to go out of your way to serve somebody. You just simply do it on your way. And my focus in the next 10 years is to focus on how I might be more effective in serving humanity. And we have a lot of work to continue to do here at Rocky Mountain University. I mean, we're building new programs. We're expanding into a new campus. Really, I mean, I can't even tell you the excitement that awaits RMU over the next 10 years, and even way beyond that. But even World of Difference, my focus on World of Difference is just beginning. Here we are, 34 years into this. We have an opportunity to build more schools over there. We're just in the process of purchasing 106 acres of land that my wife and I have dreamed about for many, many years, of building a vocational technical college over there, because those kids don't have an opportunity. They go up to the 8th grade and they take the national exam. If they don't pass that national exam, they don't go on to 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. They never could go on to college.
Right.
So there's literally millions of kids in those African countries who don't have an opportunity to do anything because they flunked out at 8th grade. But to do a vocational technical college where we can teach them about welding and plastering and carpentry and roofing and even automobile mechanics and other things like that. That's a dream that Jody and I want to do. We want to make that happen over there in Africa. So, we'll continue with Rocky Mountain University and take that as far as we can. We're going to take World of Difference as far as we can. I was talking to somebody the other day, said, I'd love to go to Africa with you. I'd love to go there and serve humanity. And it's like, I just said, listen, you don't have to go, across the oceans.
Yeah.
You don't have to go around the world to serve somebody.
Yeah.
Okay, you can do it across your back fence. You can do it around the corners in your neighborhoods.
Right.
Okay, look for opportunities to be able to serve somebody.
Yeah.
That's what it's about.
Yeah.
That's what it's about.
Wonderful. I feel like our time here has been precious. I feel like our moments here to hear from you, to hear of your stories, to really kind of draw from your experiences has been so enriching. I really feel like I have stepped into a movie, the true movie of Field of Dreams, which is to say that if you build it, they will come. And you've done that one brick, one child, one meal, one well, one person at a time.
Thank you.
And we're graced to have you in Utah County. We're very fortunate that you're leading such a wonderful organization that really does embody those values and principles that I hope we can live up to and honor and espouse in Utah Valley, and have those mirror those same principles, those same values in Rocky Mountain University. We're really, really fortunate to have you at the helm and to have you part of our community and a part of our chamber family. I now feel a part of your family because of our minutes this morning. Thank you for your time, Doctor. What a tremendous opportunity to get to know you better. Thank you.
For the opportunity.